You're watching Local 24 News at 5.
The first day of school for the merged Memphis City and Shelby County school system is over, and it was relatively smooth. The husband of a woman found dead in a trash can in the Mississippi River says he can't talk about it. Gross, disgusting, just plain weird. That's what people in one South Memphis neighborhood are saying tonight about an accused home burglar. Tonight's top story, keeping 150,000 students safe at school. An East Tennessee man is locked up tonight, accused of cruising around on construction equipment the way he was born, naked. It happened at a landscaping business in Knoxville early yesterday morning. Police say Joseph Hall drove a front-end loader through a fence. Cops say he wasn't wearing a stitch of clothing and, I know you'll find this hard to believe, reeked of booze. Investigators say he told police he stole the Bobcat because he was naked and needed to hide his nudity. Who doesn't want to put on a Bobcat when you have no clothes, right? The 19-year-old is charged with underage consumption, indecent exposure, public intoxication, vandalism, and theft. So you're feeling lucky now? The Powerball jackpot up to a whopping $400 million, the third highest amount ever. If someone wins and chooses that cash payout, the person will walk away with about a cool $230 million. How in the world you would ever live on that, I don't know. The other option is an annuity, but no one has selected that in the last several years. The next drawing is Wednesday. You ready, Paul?
Now, from Local 24, the Mid-South's most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams.
But even if I won 400+ million, I'd still show up because I love doing the weather for everybody here. And don't let this 95 sneak up on you. All right, I told you. Act like I didn't if you want to, but I'm telling you, by Thursday, it's going to be all kinds of hot.
There's a 95 lurking over your shoulder, you know that?
I know.
Don't let it sneak up on you.
See, I did it again.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
If you smoke, your child is likely to light up. Coming up, a new study with serious health implications for your kids. A health alert about the dangers of smoking and why parents aren't off the hook, even if they quit. And how about this? The tiniest feet in heels. There's a new shoe trend that is raising a lot of concern from parents and foot doctors, too. How young is too young for heels? Next.
You're watching Local 24 News at 5.
One of the hottest back-to-school shopping trends is raising eyebrows. High heels for little girls. Little girls as young as 3 are sporting kitten heels and wedges. Roughly half the Steve Madden Kids Spring and Summer collection has an elevated sole, and the soles are making waves at Gap Kids and Target stores. It's a trend that has a lot of people concerned, too.
The fact is that word sexy does not and should never apply to children.
Podiatrists, foot doctors say the heels pose dangers for anyone, especially children. Experts say they can affect little girls' balance and tendon development, too. So tonight's Facebook question, how young is too young to wear heels? Tell us what you think on our Facebook page. What would you let your child do? Like father, like son, like mother, like daughter. Experts say the old sayings are true when it comes to lighting up. Children are more likely to smoke if parents smoke. A new study found that adolescents had a greater risk of smoking even when their parents were characterized as light smokers or they quit later in life. Children were still at a higher risk to become smokers if their parents smoked and quit before their kids were even born. If an older sibling smoked, the younger brother or sister was 6 times more likely to smoke compared to those with a non-smoking sibling. Experts say no matter whether a parent smokes or not, they should immediately intervene if their child begins to smoke. The consequences may not only affect their health, but their siblings as well. A look at stories we're working on for Local 24 News at 6, plus a final check of Paul's weather forecast coming up next. First, though, let's check rush hour road cams. Again, we're going out to the highways, I-240 at Walnut Grove, where there's heavy traffic through there, as there often is, considering the construction in that area. And I-40 east of Appling, no problems there. Looks like rush hour was over early for a lot of people. We're back in just a moment. Developing right now, Memphis police are working to identify a woman found dead in the Mississippi River. Investigators say the woman's body was stuffed in a garbage container, and then the container was floating in the river. Officers found it this morning at President's Island after getting a call. Investigators say the container was locked, and there's no word yet on how the woman died. New at 6 o'clock, a local physicians group in Memphis is turning back the hands of time when it comes to community health care. Doctors with internal health and medicine services only make house calls. And tonight at 6 o'clock, how they aim to eliminate the barrier of accessible health care for seniors here in the Mid-South. Pretty interesting. Doc comes to your house.
That's old school.
Old black bag, stethoscope.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
I wonder if they come with castor oil, too.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Let's take a look at what's happening with our AutoZone part forecast. Then it gets hot.
Hot, hot, hot.
Hot, hot, hot.
And muggy. All right, sir. That'll do it for us for now. We'll see you back here again at 6 o'clock. World News is next. Tonight, I'm going to take you to a high-security laboratory in Memphis, a place that most people don't even know exists, a place of deadly viruses and dedicated scientists, a place news cameras have never been allowed until now. We go behind closed doors. You're looking at the front line of a war against an enemy that could kill millions of people. This is the Biosafety Level 3 lab at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, known as a BSL-3. Researchers here are developing vaccines to try to stop an especially deadly version of bird flu.
The potential threat is large. We just don't really understand how to quantify what that real threat is.
St. Jude's Dr. Richard Webby is the scientist in charge, a world-renowned expert on flu virus.
Essentially, we're funded by the U.S. government to sort of be in the trenches.
The lab is part of the World Health Organization Flu Surveillance Network and studies live virus samples from around the globe. A TV news camera was never allowed until we were given exclusive access. To protect ourselves, we had to wear special filter masks and gown up in scrubs before even walking down the long hallway to the lab. Beyond the glass access door, scientists in the BSL-3 wear special suits with pressurized headgear to keep them from inhaling a virus known as H5N1.
It kills 50–60% of those people we know have become infected with that virus.
For now, bird flu seems to infect mainly people with direct contact with poultry carrying the virus.
On its own, it's probably not very infectious for humans, but if you do manage to contract it, then now it's a very serious infection.
The fear is it will change into a form that easily transmits from person to person, causing a global pandemic similar to the 1918 Spanish flu, which led to mass quarantines and killed as many as 100 million people.
What makes essentially a chicken virus change to become a human virus? We don't really know.
At the St. Jude lab, the virus is injected into fertile eggs as part of the process of creating new vaccines. Since the virus is constantly mutating, vaccines against it have to change too.
There is an inherent risk. I guess there's a risk with anything we do, just from the nature of the organisms we're working with.
But it is work scientists at St. Jude have been doing successfully for decades.
If we want to get the answers to the questions we need, then it's sort of work that has to go on.
Now, a virus escaping the lab, that would be a problem, and that's why air flows only one direction into the lab. On the way out, it passes through filters to make it clean. Security is high because in the wrong hands, those viruses could be used as a biological weapon. The decision was made to let us in the name of transparency and education. If there's someplace you'd like us to go behind closed doors, just let me know about it on our Facebook page at Local Memphis or email me at doors@localmemphis.com, and I'll try to open some of them for you.
Follow us wherever you are on localmemphis.com, Facebook, Twitter, and our app for both news and weather.